Let me move this over. Let me adjust this really quickly. There we go. All right, guys. Welcome into another stream. We've got, listen, I was, last night I wasn't going to stream. Tonight I wasn't going to stream. But then we keep getting some interesting news. So Maxwell giving up information on 100 different people, whatever that means. What's going to be used, we don't know. There's reports Trump's going to come out with something. They're going to release partial, maybe a part of the list, part of the names, maybe some type of pardon for Maxwell, Trump discussing it. It's been a minute. Crypto junkie, what's up, man? You think we'll get an alt season late 25? That's the goal, man. That's the hope. I don't know when else it would come. I mean, if it happens, it's got to be late 2025. Look at the timing of the 4-year cycle. I mean, maybe early 2026, but hopefully late 2025 is what I would say. How are you doing today? I'm doing well, man. Just really hot outside. Very, very hot. Another hot week. You know, next week I saw potentially later in the week it was going to be in the low 70s. That'd be nice. Very, very hot. Obama is gay, so he's not on it. Biden was at daycare, so he's... Yeah, I mean, you know, you're looking at people like Clinton, and there's an entire betting, you know, for who's on it. I remember that betting thing coming out. You working on any 9/11 videos tomorrow? I mean, I could always do another, you know, video on like 15 facts. I might do that. I'll have to see how the other ones have done. Sean, what's up? The whale. $60. The whale enters. He's releasing the fake Epstein files. Don't be fooled. Well, I mean, yeah, I don't think they're going to be fake, but certainly it's hard to really trust anything the administration releases. That's, you know, they're gonna keep certain things from public. I mean, obviously it's the Trump administration. Do you really think they're going to release incriminating evidence on Trump? Like, let's be real. The problem is people think there is now incriminating evidence on Trump. I don't think there is, but people can just keep speculating it because you know, they don't trust the administration. Sean, thank you for the 11 months. The 11th-month membership. What part of California I'm in? No, I'm not in Cali. Always a good day when I stream. I appreciate that. Thank you for the $10 donation. The one thing that is always consistent with cover-ups is red herring actions. Interviewing her while they sit on 300 gigabytes of files is retarded. They aren't even trying to explain that. Yeah, I mean, the whole thing has been done really in a very sloppy way. I think they can just get something out and then people will shut up about it if they reveal something. That's probably what they think, honestly. They think if we give them something, because the thing is, what are they even going to give? Are they going to give something that's going to create an arrest? I highly doubt it. It seems like we're so far off from that. But who knows? Opinion on Thailand, Cambodia skirmish. I haven't looked into it, honestly. I mean, yeah, somebody was telling me about it yesterday, and I said I didn't even know that. Then I saw a report today about there being some battles or whatever. You know, I don't know about it, so I'd have to do some research on it, honestly. Cambodia, Thailand. Remember the time you bought stocks? Well, I'll be buying stocks. I mean, I'm sure I'll probably be buying stocks after this bull run. I'll have to reallocate things, and you know, there'll still be crypto, but it's not going to be a great time to be in crypto next year at this time. There'll always be money making opportunities just because it's so mainstream now, but it's going to be harder. I think it's going to get harder and harder. That's what people say about crypto. Harder and harder the more adoption there is. Yeah, the TAPP. Dude, I gotta do a video on that. That's hilarious. Look at all these ugly women. Look at this. Dude, this app got leaked and these women took photos of themselves, I guess, for photo identification. Look, I think we have to confirm that this is real, but for a 4chan member leaked all of these photos of this. This is the verification. You know when you verify yourself on an app or on a site, Sometimes they ask for photo ID, like a dating app, they'll ask for it. Apparently with this TAPP, which is basically just scorned women who go on to talk shit and try and tell each other why they shouldn't date a certain guy. They try to make it really private and gated to where only women can go on it, so they need all this verification. And the app gets hacked within a day. And it wasn't even hacked, apparently. They had zero security. So someone just went into it and was able to leak everything without even really hacking it, from what I was reading. So, yeah, this TAPP is already looking bad for them. And then you've got this Gen Z men versus Gen Z women. Trump approval rating, men plus 17, women approval rating minus 20. Yeah, that makes sense. It's a gender gap. Can you scroll through the TAPP? I think it's very hard to actually, as a male, get on. I'd have to have a female do it, honestly, to have an account. Or I don't know, maybe there's some way you could do it. But people were saying it was very, very hard. Like they have a really strict verification process. But hilarious. Did you see the Tucker and Anna Young Turks Yeah, I saw a clip of it where they were talking about Israel. I mean, the Israel stuff. This Israel has to get rid of Netanyahu. They have to stop this war immediately. Their relationship with the United States, especially with younger people, is I don't know how they're going to repair it. Israel. I mean, there's certain things they can try and do, but I think it's the genie is kind of out of the bottle. It's just so. I mean, when you've got like Tucker and Anna talking like that, it's like, what's the T coin? Yeah, there probably is a T coin, honestly. If I had to guess, there's definitely at least a few probably T coins on Solana. They might reveal all the documents, even the ones that may mention Trump to some extent. That's a thing. That's a way they can save face, is if they reveal the documents that mention Trump, because I don't think it's going to be incriminating against Trump. I think it's just going to be about the relationship Trump and Epstein had. But they might decide to release a few of them that mention Trump in some type of way, for transparency. That would be a potential thing that they could do, and the Trump people could say, "Well, you see, they're releasing everything. Even Trump is in here." But obviously, it wouldn't be anything incriminating against Trump. So that's something that I guess they could do. Artificial Inu AI coin. I didn't see that. Now, when the coins just get released, man, it's really hard to put money into them if they just get released. We're not doing that Joe Rogan thing again. Tracking Caspa. There's a name, Caspa. Remember I doubt anyone remembers. Dude, Caspa was so big in like 2023. I guess it still is big, but early investors, there's a lot of old early YouTube crypto guys that got into Caspa. They wouldn't shut up about it. Netanyahu BO1 zombie stream on DG2. The legendary DG2, that's right. Caspa's still around. Yeah, it is. It is. I hear people talk about it still. Dude, Caspa's like the ultimate utility influencer coin. That's all, because it's the newer one. Technum is another one that the people loved. I think that coin died though. That's a layer one. Thoughts on Pulse Chain? Yeah, I don't have anything on Pulse Chain. I don't really orbit their ecosystem, but that doesn't mean it can't be bullish. It can't do well, but it is one of those things to where you're gonna get no normies on Pulse Chain. It's just not gonna be the adoption. There doesn't need. It's not like there needs to be. I think there's enough money, within it to do well, but it's one of those things to where I'll just stick to, really, I just stick to Ethereum and base and maybe Solana. I do some trades on Solana, but ownership on Solana, it's like I don't hold long term on Solana, or except for this one coin. It's hard to hold long term on Solana because nobody's a holder. There's more holders on Ethereum for sure. Imagine if you flew down to the Virgin Islands and then flew a drone around Epstein Island and uploaded the footage a day later, you'd be infamous. Nah, somebody's already done that. Somebody actually, I think, kayaked or boated to the island and went on the island. I mean, you know that building that they have? It's like outlined in like, it looks like Israel colors. I mean, it's just, whatever that building is, it looks like some type of temple. I mean, it's very odd, dude. Like, because everything's underground. It's just really, really strange. Thanks for your videos and consistency. I appreciate it. You think Myron is still a Fed? So is Nick Fuentes. Yeah, I don't know, man. Any big name is going to get accusations like that. But Myron Gaines actually was a federal agent. It's interesting, but I don't know, man. I have a huge Fartcoin bag. I wish, dude, Fartcoin. But the thing with Fartcoin is it's hard. It was hard to hit Fartcoin. It was because it pretty much immediately teleported to like 100 million. So it's like, well, if it had stayed down there for a while, I would have been more mad at myself. But if a coin like teleports to 100 million the day it's released or like the next few days, I don't really get angry. It's like, well, how was I supposed to hit that? If you timeline Trump's Epstein stuff, it's sus. Epstein deposit 2010 Epstein deposition specifically asked Epstein. Yeah, I don't know about a deposition asking about Trump. What do you think about the Commanders and Indians coming back? I don't think it's likely. Maybe the you mean the Redskins? Yeah, maybe the Redskins comes back. I think they were talking about doing. The thing is they're trying to get like $1 billion in stadium money that would be paid for by the city, and Trump can hold that up kind of like by proxy because of his executive power. Technically, I don't think he can fully hold it up, but if he kind of throws his weight around in DC, it's going to be pretty tough for them to get that public money. That's if Trump really wants it. People are saying it's just this fake, thing that he's doing as a distraction from the Epstein files. So, I mean, I think it represents the woke bullshit with the Redskins and the Indians losing their names. I'd love to see the Indians come back. I think the name change made the team low budget. It made the team really just like a little kiddie franchise almost. Like, when they were the Indians, those teams were amazing in the 90s. Even the 2016 team was amazing, the Indians. And then they changed the name, and they're like the little engine that could. Like, they just lose every playoffs to the Yankees. It's like, they're just, it's like a humiliation ritual with the Guardians. I wish they would go back, but I don't think they will. But the Redskins Commanders thing is interesting because Trump can hold up the funding. Huh. You gonna goon to the TAPP leaked pics? Dude, I'd be sitting there for 5 hours. You can't find one that would get anything. There's nothing there. You scout the prospects. There's nothing there. We're looking at one star prospects, maybe a few 2 stars there. It's not gonna be any. There's not gonna be anything special. You look at some of those people. It's in the newly what is that leaked 2010 Epstein deposition. Asked if he socialized with Trump in presence, females. Yeah, I know, but what does that even mean? Socialized in the presence. It's you could socialize with someone and there's in like a big room or a hall and there's women there. So I don't really get. That's kind of a vague question. I don't think that's a really good question. Why is Trump trying to turn the Commanders back to the racist name? Well, it's actually pretty funny you mentioned that. The person that it was named after is a chief or is a former tribe leader of a Native Americans. Their family wants the Redskins back. Think about how crazy that is. So the white people supposedly calling it racist. The own family of the Native American that was honored by the name and the logo. They said they wanted the name back. That just shows you the liberal white outrage. That's what got that name taken away. You see the cringe liberal summit today? No, I didn't see it. What is it like? Young liberals coming together? You think Canada is cooked without a trade deal? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how real that is. I feel like Trump does that a lot to pressure countries into accepting his terms. He'll always come out and publicly say, "Well, it's not going to happen." I think it'll happen probably, but maybe it won't. Who knows? But I think Canada needs a trade deal with us. So, that's what Trump normally does. Let's all laugh at Pumpcoin, dude. I don't know why. I don't know why people would buy that pre-sale. So a pre-sale on any crypto is a waste. It's just a waste. Unless you have some type of alpha on it, there's no reason. Imagine Trump releases files in the Epstein coin moons. Yeah, I mean they're still. I mean I'm sure that coin is actually doing probably decently because it's still in the news. I didn't think it would be on the news like this. Newsom said that in this clip. He said that his people, his campaign people or whatever, were getting sent Trump 2028 hats. I guess is a troll. Trump talks about the Europe immigration. Yeah, he's in Scotland. He got a warm welcome.
Stop the windmills. And I mean, there's a couple of things I could say, but on immigration, you better get your act together. You're not going to have Europe anymore. You got to get your act together. And we, as you know, last month we had nobody entering our country. Nobody. Shut it down. And we took out a lot of bad people that got there with Biden. Biden was a total stiff. And what he allowed to happen, but you're allowing it to happen to your countries. And you got to stop this horrible invasion that's happening to Europe, many countries in Europe. Some people, some leaders have not let it happen. And they're not getting the proper credit they should. I could name them to you right now, but I'm not going to embarrass the other ones. But stop. This immigration is killing Europe. And the other thing, stop the windmills, killing the beauty of your countries. Thank you very much, everybody.
Right. So he's talking about the renewable energy, the wind energy, and the immigration. Absolutely. The immigration is really bad, and we'd like for him to pause the immigration, but they've eliminated the illegal immigration in the United States. Crypto junkie, I appreciate that, man. Thank you. Thank you for the $10 donation. Imagine wanting Trump again in 2028. Well, I mean, go back to 33 through 45 with Roosevelt. No, I mean, I don't think it's gonna happen. It's just funny. You heavily disagree with him on not needing windmills. Yeah, I know. I do like renewable energy as well. That's a boomer thing with the fossil fuels. I mean, fossil fuels are an adequate source for sure. Renewable is cheaper. That's the thing. And when it comes to like the idea that it's destroying the aesthetic look, I mean, I guess you could say that it's not like the wind farms are necessarily good to look at, you know. But it's one of those things to where it's like, well, you look at what China's doing with renewable, it's pretty impressive. I mean, they've got the two biggest solar panel farms in the world in China. There's a reason that is. It's not because it's bad energy. The summit PR, whatever. Yeah, I don't know what that is. It's a liberal summit. I never seen it. I didn't see that today. I haven't really looked at much stuff though. 100 different people. What does this mean? Who have links to Epstein? Ghislaine Maxwell, and she wants a pardon. And it's like all this is happening behind the scenes. Who really knows? In 3 years, every man in the United States will be on the TAPP. Well, I mean, I don't think the TAPP is going to exist with what's going on now with everything getting leaked. Doesn't seem likely. China is able to turn desert into usable land for vegetation and plants to be introduced. Yeah, I've seen that. It's like kind of a reforestation type thing. It's a change in the bioclimate. China does a lot of that type of stuff. I saw you see some of the richer Gulf states do things like that too, where they try and change it because a lot, it's all a desert there. Households having their own renewable. Yeah, that's the thing I can't really get behind is like putting solar panels on your house. I think that looks really ugly. I would be against doing something like that as a architectural problem. I think solar panels on like on roofs are really ugly. So that's not something I'd be. I mean, it's like you could do them and you could have solar panel mass farms like in Arizona because of the sun hours. I think it would work out well. Never heard of the T app before today. I heard of it yesterday because it came out like 2 days ago. That's why. Number one problem with solar panel roofs, you have to clean the bird poop. Yeah, especially if it's just a residential home. You got to clean all that stuff up. In Arizona, it looks weird if your house doesn't have. Really, it's that adopted. Every house in Arizona has solar panels. You guys just use that as just your energy source. Well, they must have a lot of excess energy then in Arizona. I mean, I guess because of the sun hours. But still, I would be against it. I would put zoning against it, against people having their own solar panels, just because I think it looks bad for a just an aesthetic look. I don't mind there being a solar panel farm in Arizona, like the world's biggest solar panel farm in Arizona or something. But I think residential it looks bad. There's a lot of places in there's a lot of places in the United States that are good for solar panels. It's not even just Arizona. I mean, Nevada is another good place for solar panels. New Mexico is a good. New Mexico is also good for wind energy as well. Texas is really good for wind energy. Wyoming is real. That's the thing with Wyoming. Why it's so windy, and the people don't think about the wind, but the wind is annoying if it's just constantly windy. Why is Arizona the hottest place recorded ever? Well, I think the hottest temperature ever recorded is in California. It's like some creek, like Florence Creek or something, California. Um, I think it was like 100, but I don't even know if that's true. I mean, maybe it was in like probably the Middle East, the hottest temperature ever. Bunch of solar and wind farms in Oklahoma. Yeah, Oklahoma's probably good for both. It's a flat state. It's good. It's going to get wind. It gets sun too. Oklahoma's relatively nice weather. 135 degrees in Kuwait. Yeah, it's insanely hot. Well, I mean, nowadays, right now, based off of the seasons, it's cooler in like Australia, South America. I've been looking at some of the temperatures there. It's you get into the mountains in South America. There's like ski resorts in South America. It's like 15, 20 degrees. I would love it to be like 20 degrees tomorrow, just as something different. It'd just be nice to see. I remember I went on vacation when I was younger. Like it was the dead of winter, and then we went to a place and it was 80 degrees. And getting off the plane, it was a pretty crazy shift because you normally don't see something like that if it's like because we were going through all the winter months. I don't. The last time it was 80 degrees was probably like 8 months ago, and then it's just all of a sudden 80 degrees. What's the status on the Golden Dome? Well, the Golden Dome is, I think it's in the early. It's okay. They got it okay, so they're gonna start it. I mean, it's very expensive, so it's a multi-year investment. It's probably a decade investment before they fully get it up and running. If it happens, I mean, I think liberals kind of overdid it in terms of the price. It's not gonna cost, it's not gonna cost $2 trillion or whatever they said, but it's gonna cost a few hundred billion, I think. So they started off with a $25 billion investment into it. The problem is it's just so much area to cover. So that's really where the expense of it comes from. The amount of area that has to be covered by the defenses. You got to check out the graph. Yeah, I have seen it. They deleted it. The graph that the Dems posted. That was like the most viral thing when they posted that. Maxwell granted limited immunity. Yeah, I was reading about that. That's a process that they have to do that. They have to grant her some form of immunity because if she's revealing names. So she has to get some immunity to be able to reveal the names. That's not like, oh, she's going to be getting a pardon. I mean, I don't know if she's going to or not, but that's just a procedural point when you talk to someone like a situation like this. Thoughts on NATO under Trump versus Biden? Well, obviously Trump is a lot harder on NATO than Biden was, and just it's a Republican Democrat thing. The Republicans want NATO to pay more. Trump forced them to up their spending on 5% of the GDP, and it's actually been a better relationship now with Trump and NATO. At least the last time they had the recent meetup, I don't know if it was the summit or whatever it was, but it's been better recently because there were a lot of people that thought Trump was just going to try and get the U.S. to leave NATO, and whether or not he can do that just with himself or it needs Congress, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. The TAPP leak is one of the funniest things you've seen. Yeah, it's pathetic with all these women and just it's just another thing. It's the modern women, and then they're you all look at the profiles get leaked. They're all ugly, and it's like, oh yeah, they all have animosity against men. There's a shocker. Why does CNN always try to make Trump look bad? Well, they're a liberal. They're a liberal news network, so obviously they're gonna have a negative Trump angle. Trump mentioned Clinton at Epstein Island in 2015. See that it was in 2015. Yeah, no, I remember that clip. I saw that. Then in the first term, never again really accept distancing himself after the 2019 Epstein death. I think first term he saw he was in it. Yeah, but in it in what way? I mean, he couldn't have been in it in any bad way to even mention it. Like, even if you don't think you're in any type of list or file, and then maybe you realize you are, but even before that, there's no way he did anything illegal because why would you mention it in the first place? Did you see the clip of Maxwell holding the white box? No, I didn't. Yeah, I don't know if the rebates are going to happen. They said $3,600. The stimulus stuff, we got to calm down. If they're calling it a stimulus. Let's not do another stimulus after what happened with that. with the inflation. Big mistake a lot of young men make is thinking they should be approaching or engaging with leftist women. It's a huge dead end. Yeah, that well, any heavily political woman is a waste of time. The rebates end after 150K. What does that mean per year? 150K. What is with the rebates? Is it so if you make over 150K, you're not eligible? Yeah, 100 names, 85 of them liberal. No, I don't know. Trump talking about fire aid. Here, we'll go to this. This is just going to be like he went to Scotland. You know, the weird thing with Scotland was I was like, how far ahead is Scotland in terms of time zone? It was like 5 o'clock in the afternoon here where I'm at, and it was still light in Scotland. I was like, why is it not dark in Scotland? That was one of the things I noticed. I was like, so is Scotland only 4 hours ahead of Eastern Standard Time? Yeah, but if it's 5 hours difference, it's light at 10 o'clock at night in Scotland. Are they +1 UTC? See, because the thing is, we're -4 UTC. Then Scotland is +1. Because they're so far north, they have more sunlight. Yeah, I was just surprised by it. It's just something I noticed. I was like, if you're going to Scotland, I thought for sure it would be dark. It's just something I noticed. I don't know. Yeah, but Scotland shouldn't be that north to where it impacts the fact that the sun stays up till like 11 o'clock. I understand Alaska, it can happen. Yeah, I think that the dating apps are terrible. But listen, you look at the dating statistic, it's over half. Over half of the relationships start on dating apps now. So I mean, you can blame guys for being on them, but unfortunately, it's like over half start that way through the apps. Why don't your ads work? Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure about that. I mean, maybe I should have to message YouTube or something if this is a serious. Do they work on the videos? Do they work on my normal videos? Do the ads? Can somebody check? Hopefully they work on the normal videos. I think they work because I still think I'm getting paid around the same per view per 1,000 views. Alaska and Norway can be light for the entire day. Yeah, but that's a little. If you actually look at the time lapses of it, it's really like twilight. It's not what people think. People think, oh, it's sunny 24 hours. It's no, it's not what it is. The sun is really muted at night, but technically it's not dark. That's what it is. It looks like it's twilight basically for like 7 hours. But it's not. People always say, well, it stays light 24 hours, and then people think, oh, it must be sunny at 3 a.m. No, that's not it's not how it is. The sun is just very muted. It looks like it's in the constant twilight phase. It's like a solar eclipse phase almost. Is Carney so stubborn that a trade deal is struggling to happen? Well, obviously Trump is trying to squeeze Canada. I mean, that's what happens with Trump. He plays hardball. And so he comes out and he makes a threat, and there'll probably be a deal. The deal is probably going to be very good for the United States. When you have this kind of leverage over these countries, this is kind of how it gets ugly. It's going to get ugly for these countries. It's going to get ugly. That you're going to have to push them and push them and push them and push them. And then there'll be a deal. They need a deal. Canada needs a deal with us. Thoughts on Rogan saying he thinks Hunter Biden will. That's a joke. Yeah, that's obviously a joke. You would hope. Have you heard about the conflict and skirmishes with Thailand? Yeah, I mean, I've heard people say it to me. Is it a full-fledged war or just skirmishes? You push and mow your lawn at 2 a.m. in Alaska. That's a tough thing, but even in Alaska, this is the thing that people have to understand. You know, it's twilight. It's not sunny. People try and say it's sunny at 2 a.m. It's not. Looks like it's about. Looks like the sun is rising. It's like an eclipse. It's like, yeah, it's muted. The sun is muted, but it's not like it's bright in the sky. I don't think that could happen really anywhere where it's bright in the sky at that time. Based on the rotation. Even in the most northern spot. Maybe in the most northern part of the North Pole, possibly. How do you get dates on Tinder? Yeah, I don't think Tinder is good, man. I don't think you're gonna do very well on Tinder if I had to guess. I mean, it depends. You might be a Chad if you're the top 1%, you'll do very well. But if you're asking me if you're on this stream, I'm gonna assume it's probably not the case. I'm gonna assume it's gonna be pretty tough. Good to see Ethereum moving. Yeah, Crypto Junkie, you should follow my crypto channel. I had to separate my channels just because it doesn't make sense to post it here. Scotland's high northern latitude makes the sunset very late. So I mean, that surprises me. I mean, I know Scotland there's more north, but you wouldn't think it'd be that big of an effect. I mean, how big of a, Scotland is right around London, and so it's like, is it really that much more north? I guess I didn't realize that. The ultimate black pill is that we're all ugly in the stream. Yeah, we got some real chads in the stream for sure. Dude, I'll go to this dude just so you put a muzzle. We gotta muzzle you or something, or maybe ask this dude to marry you. Maybe he'll drive in on his Cybertruck, and marry you. I mean, this is like what this is. Five minutes, I'm gonna watch that bitch. No thanks. You're getting married? Well, congratulations. I don't think that's. All right, I'll put my crypto channel in. Hold on. I gotta remember. I think it's this. All right, that's my crypto channel. You're taking your girl in Ohio to the Hall of Fame game. That's a nice trip. That's a nice low key trip. Yeah, I've been to the Hall of Fame Museum once in Canton. I was younger, so it's kind of hard to remember it. It was during the summer. But it's an interesting place to visit. Kind of funny. It's in Ohio. I guess the Pro Football Hall of Fame is in Ohio. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is in Ohio. But that's about it. Doesn't matter if you live in Seattle. Seattle has nice weather. Very liberal. Very, very liberal. Nice weather, though. Mad, you haven't mentioned your crypto channel sooner. Well, I don't. I mean, it doesn't really matter to me, whether or not people know about it. But I just had to separate it because my crypto videos weren't doing very well. My crypto videos actually do better on that channel with way lower subscribers. Love the T League. Never has finding yourself a 5'4", 260. Did you see some of those? I don't know if that's true, but you see some of those. Let's just call them attributes. Let's call them attributes of the driver's license. Yeah, when you see stuff like that, well, that's a beauty. I'm gonna do a video on that. I think tomorrow. It's just too good. It's just too good. Seattle raining 24/7, not in the summer. No, it's actually a very dry climate in the summer. People get that wrong. Yeah, it rains in the winter heavily. There's a lot of precipitation, not in the summer though. How does TAPP actually enforce its women-only rule? They've got this massive security. I mean, they have all this security, but it doesn't matter. It's like, they got found. They got hacked. They didn't even get hacked. It was just remain optimistic. Jerome Powell will do the right thing as early as next week. This is not going to happen, man. This guy's got to stop. This guy's got to stop with this. So you see this is like, what's the point of having a country if I mean, it's insane. Political affiliation. Oh, we're not doing Defiant again. Yeah, Trump has now said you got to be talking about Bill Clinton. I mean, it does make Trump look like he's trying to distract from himself, but that is true. I mean, he was the original one. It's not going to rain in Seattle regularly until close to Halloween. Yeah, that's the thing with their climate. It's very bipolar. You're in Atlanta. You're in Atlanta. Atlanta is extremely diverse and very liberal, from what I know. I heard that isn't it true the suburbs surrounding Atlanta have just gotten ridiculously liberal? Like they're one of the most. There's one of the places that have shifted the most out of any suburban area is the suburbs surrounding Atlanta. That's why the state of Atlanta, conservative people will say, it's eventually going to be a Democrat state. It's still a swing state. I mean, Trump has won it 2 out of 3 times, but Yeah, the constant. That's what they always do. They always say, "You got to look at this account or this." It's always the same 5 accounts on rotation. Then I'll go to the account and it's like there's nothing to it. There's all this fucking bullshit.
You on presidential immunity would apply to former President Barack Obama and what you're accusing him of doing.
It probably helps him a lot. Probably helps him a lot, the immunity ruling. But it doesn't help the people around him at all. But it probably helps him a lot. He's done criminal acts, there's no question about it. But he has immunity, and it probably helps him a lot.
A trade agreement you're looking to sign too.
He owes me big. Obama owes me big.
You on presidential immunity would apply to former President.
You're getting so yeah, this is good. You're getting so tired of the constant TDS from CoffeeZilla. Like, why didn't he make a single video about this under the corpse of the Biden? Yeah, he's a liberal. He's one of just he's like a boomer liberal. Like, what does he know about politics? He comes in, tries to do these. He tries to analyze these videos like it's this huge thing. It's like, dude, you're reading like 4 fucking articles on this in the span of a day, and you think you're like this expert, and you're gonna bust it wide open. So he's shifted to politics, and now, but the worst part is when they're disingenuous. He says, well, I'm bipartisan, and we just want to find out the truth and help these kids out and stuff. It's like, buddy, what are you even talking about? You know, this has been ongoing for years. You know, the liberals were the one to cover it up and say it's a conspiracy theory whenever any Republican talked about it. You're missing the plot. You're missing the actual nuance and the context. That dude knows nothing. And then he reads like an article. He's like, I know what's going on, guys. Trump is in him because he sent a lot. He doodled a picture, and then he said he didn't doodle, but it turns out he doodled a skyscraper. So, he's guilty. Yeah, that is totally devoid of all the context of the history of the Epstein stuff with Trump. And it's like, dude, come on.
Those questions honestly, truthfully, to the best of her ability. She never invoked a privilege. She never refused to answer a question. So we're very proud of her. We're proud of how the process has worked over the past day and a half. Answer those questions honestly.
CoffeeZilla and Destiny, the worst. Yeah, you see what Destiny said today? Destiny tweeted something. It was like, well, the Trump people don't want to believe that Trump is in the finals because some about Trump not being a abuser to Trump supporters' kids or something. It's just like the ultimate TDS just slop. It's like none of this. Like, what are you tweeting, bro? Most of the talking points are regurgitated from 2016. Yeah, I mean, in one form or another. But the Epstein stuff, I think the liberals were always against. You know, you could say it's regurgitated in a different way because it was the grab him by the pussy stuff in 2016. Saint, I appreciate it. Yo, man. Would love to see you make a vid covering the Battle of Kashma. U.S. versus Russia's Wagner. Yeah, I don't know about that. Maybe. I've been covering some World War II stuff recently. I don't know. Does anyone know what the rebate is exactly in terms of the numbers? How much money it is? Maxwell, does she get freed? I don't know. I mean, they're talking about it. I mean, it depends what she gives up, and she can be an asset to the administration. Obviously, trying to, if you're the administration and you're smart, it might be a good idea to release some stuff with Trump in it, just to say, well, see, we've released this, and Trump is in it, but he's not implicated. I've already showed that. This dude for sure is the trans person.
New at 2, Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche's meeting with convicted sex trafficker Ghislaine Maxwell has ended. This as critics are calling for more transparency in the Jeffrey Epstein investigation. Welcome back as we head into hour 2 of America Reports. I'm Sandra Smith in New York, and Bill, great to have you here today.
Great to be with you as well, Sandra. I'm Bill Malugin in Los Angeles. John Roberts has the day off. That meeting Sandra just mentioned just wrapped up moments ago. Maxwell was escorted back to the prison from the courthouse in Tallahassee. Her attorney said they had a, quote, productive meeting with Blanche, but details of their talks still remain under wraps right now.
All right, Fox Team coverage is at the ready. Chief legal correspondent Shannon Bream is live here in New York City, standing by with analysis. But first, let's get to our justice correspondent, David Spunt. He's got the latest from Washington for us. So, David, what else did Maxwell's attorney say?
Well, he said a lot. We wish we could be in and hear what was said in the actual meeting. This meeting was a lot shorter than it was yesterday, but this was a 2-day event. The highlight, though, it appears that her team wants a pardon. Watch.
We're going to take one day at a time. I know that's very cliche, but it's true because things are happening so quickly. We haven't spoken to the president or anybody about a pardon just yet. And listen, the president this morning said he had the power to do so. We hope he exercises that power in the right and just way.
But the president leaving the White House today was asked directly.
Why would Trump want to pardon Epstein's former? Yeah, I know it sounds bad. It's basically because, they've got maximum leverage over Maxwell, and she could give them some significant information. And it's a negotiation, so she's not going to give up the information if she gets X, Y, and Z, and so that's why they would be discussing it. But look, who really knows what happens? I mean, they're trying to repair the reputation on this, and Trump now has said, well, maybe I'll just release things, and he's trying to divert it to Clinton, and we'll see what they end up coming forward with. But the thing is it's at the point now to where, nobody suspected there was anything with Trump. Liberals were saying it doesn't exist a few weeks ago, and now it's at the point to where no matter what they reveal, people are going to say, well, they're covering for Trump, they're not revealing everything, and so that's what they have to face now. CoffeeZilla got a lot of views from reporting on FTX collapse, Sam Bankman-Fried fraud. Yeah, no, I hear you. But I mean, that makes sense because that was his thing. Wasn't it always about certain crypto stuff that he would report on? Like pre-sales gone wrong and exchange collapses, things like that. But I mean, you find, with it seems like everything comes back to politics. People always, it's just because the views are in politics, You get all these views, and so it's people like doing it. Why are libs crying about Stephen Colbert losing it? Yeah, I think that's a bit ridiculous. They're having a rally for Stephen Colbert now. It's like, come on, this is this is clear. This is pathetic. We're going to have a rally for Stephen Colbert because he lost his job? Really? He's like a multimillionaire. Oh, boo-hoo. They blame Trump. They say, well, it's Trump's fault because of CBS relationship with Paramount or whatever. I don't even know. They're like, well, they're in negotiations and Trump wouldn't allow it if they kept Colbert. Well, can he get another job with another network? Why is he crying like a fucking 3-year-old? It's life. Move on. You got fired. Go home. Go to another network. Stop acting like a child. Do you need a rally? Maybe they should bring out a big, like a binky for him to have, or a pacifier. I think that would be good for him. There's a funnier bit than Stephen Colbert's done the past 3 years, right there. I'm just sick of Stephen Colbert. Fire Kimmel next. Kimmel's also on that same. These are just elitist liberals. Remember Kimmel crying? These people were crying after the election. They're legitimately crying. Yeah, that's a good that's the male figure on the left. What happened to Joe Biden's rapidly spreading terminal cancer? They weaponized it. You know, Biden always had something, but they waited and then because they knew Tapper was going to bring out that book. And so they're like, how dare you reveal this book, basically exposing the Democrats for having a vegetable in office. We're going to say that Biden has cancer. How dare you? You know, that's another distraction. They keep talking about this Trump distraction. Well, there was another obvious distraction when they randomly say, well, now we know he has stage 4, and we're only revealing it when the book comes out. People acting like the DOJ is using partial immunity for Maxwell to cover up for Trump don't know what they are talking about. The point is to incentivize the... Right. Well, no, partial immunity is not... Partial immunity is just her being able to talk. Because it puts her at risk, so they have to give her immunity in a legal sense. I believe that's what it is. It doesn't mean it's, oh, she's going to partial tell the truth or partial tell... No, it's not a literal thing like that. It's just partial in terms of she's not getting full immunity, like a pardon or anything, not right now, but she has to have some form of immunity for her to be able to speak because she's going to implicate people. And then it could bounce back on her, and she doesn't want that, so why would she talk? So they have to give her some form of immunity. Who is this Candace Owens you're talking about? Yeah, what about that situation? Macron's wife is suing Candace Owens now for defamation. You know, those defamation lawsuits are very hard to win because when you're a public figure, you need to prove malice behind the, you know, intent and everything like that. So I don't know. You know, I don't know about that. I'm not sure what the proof is there that she's a woman. Apparently they sent stuff to Candace Owens proving that Candace Owens said she investigated it. She said it's a man. If you look at that relationship between Brigitte and Emmanuel, it's very strange. It's a very strange relationship. We'll say that in terms of the age gap difference. It's very strange. But I don't know. I mean, they're trying to sue Candace Owens now, and she doesn't seem too worried about it. Tough case for France. France is, yeah, I don't know what they're doing. They're suing over this. I guess they're suing for defamation. The proof is pretty convincing, not gonna lie. It does seem pretty ridiculous. Well, I've heard both sides of it. Did you see what Steven Crowder said? He said, well, it's all there. It's obviously a woman. They sent all the documents. But then people say, well, Candace Owens is actually telling the truth. And I mean, why else would she do this? So I don't know. Someone from Macron's childhood or something would have come forward if she was a dude. Yeah, I tend to agree. I think there would have to be more there, but I haven't really looked into it, so... Right-wing influencers, Benny Johnson, Matt Walsh, you're getting sick of. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty normal. Like, popular people, you'll tend to get sick of them. Just as a... I mean, the amount of content that some of these influencers do is insane. The volume of it. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Regardless if Brigitte was a woman or not, she definitely groomed Macron. Yeah, have you seen the relationship? How is that? She was his teacher in, what is it called over there? It's called something else, like some type of grade school, but I don't know what it's called there. Yeah, that was a crazy. It was I thought it was 15 and 39 age difference, and then they said, well, we never had a relationship, but that like Emmanuel Macron, how are you even involved with a situation like that? It's just a weird thing. How do more people not? Maybe they do in France, and I just I don't live there, but how do more people not question that as it being extremely odd? Did you see the age difference with the press secretary, Caroline Levitt? Yeah, Caroline Levitt is I was watching a clip today. She's cute. Charlie Kirk is almost too far right. He's against legal immigration. No, I think you could argue Charlie Kirk. I would definitely not say he's too far right. I think Charlie Kirk is trying to be more further right because he knows a lot of the younger people are far right. To me, I think he's kind of faking it, honestly. I mean, he is to some degrees against a legal immigration, which, I mean, obviously with the amount of illegals in the country, it's understandable. Benny has been very right about. Yeah, I saw him take that stance where he was like, really, just anti. Yeah, I mean, you go against Trump. I mean, I guess you give him credit because he's in with the administration to a degree. I mean, he has people on from it, so you go against it. Trump is not going to be too happy about that. You wonder how much Trump really pays attention to that stuff. I think Trump called a couple of the influencers and told them. Remember the clip of Brigitte hitting Macron on the? Yeah, it's just a weird couple. Just an odd couple of people there. She hit him like in his forehead or something.
Well, I don't want to talk about that. What I do want to say is that Todd is a great attorney, but you ought to be speaking about Larry Summers. You ought to be speaking about some of his friends that are hedge fund guys. They're all over the place. You ought to be speaking about Bill Clinton, who went to the island 28 times. I never went to the island.
Do you maintain you did not write a letter for Jeffrey Epstein's birthday?
I don't even know what they're talking about. Now, somebody could have written a letter and used my name, but that's happened a lot. All you have to do is take a look at the dossier, the fake dossier. Everything's fake with that administration. Everything's fake with the Democrats. Take a look at what they just found about the dossier. Everything is fake. They're a bunch of sick people. Where did you see the people laying outside? Exactly.
Right across your door, Clemens.
Well, I don't want to talk about.
Legal immigration is undercutting real Americans in every way. No, I agree with you 100%. Well, that's why we were trying to get Trump to stop the legal immigration, and also I think it's justified because of the amount of illegals in the country. But I think that's a pretty normal right-wing take now. You don't like Trump calling the influencers? Yeah, but it doesn't surprise me, honestly. I mean, if you want to control it to a degree, you kind of got to do that. Disappointed with him deflecting so much. I know, dude, that's the thing. Like, there is, like, it does seem with Trump to a degree, there is a lack of self-awareness because there's ways to phrase things. Like when he says you ought to be looking at, it comes off like, stop paying attention to me, start paying attention to this. Like, stop paying attention to me. So it does seem like, it seems bad, but he's older. Can't believe how poorly the administration has handled this. I know, especially, like, imagine what it is with Trump. I mean, it might be some type of golden shower. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's something humiliating. But I don't know on the reason that this is happening. There could be other blackmail involved. You never know. If Trump uses the pardon as more of a push for Maxwell to talk, it will look so bad. Yeah, I mean, any pardon for Maxwell is going to look bad. There's no doubt about it, especially because nobody trusts the administration. So whatever comes out, what Maxwell says, it's going to be seemingly, filtered through the administration's wishes. So all of it's like it's all an issue. I mean, again, the best thing they could do, I think, is to release a lot of stuff, and then maybe there's a few things with Trump in them, but it's nothing bad about Trump, so they could say, see, we released it. And there's nothing bad about Trump, but he's in them, so we're being transparent. It would be something like that, I feel like. Why did Biden ever release the files? Because, dude, the files were always thought to be Bill Clinton and Democrats, and it was always a Republican conspiracy. The Democrats didn't touch it. They said it was ridiculous. How would you have handled the files? Well, the files would have been handled differently. I'd have to know what's in them, and then you would because you have to understand this is a problem with Trump not being really or the administration. Well, maybe the administration was in tune with the base because they were talking about releasing them. The real problem came from some type of issue, I think, behind the scenes. They thought they could release something, and then it got for some reason they weren't able to. I mean, because why else would Pam Bondi say what she says? It's like, there was some type of error behind the scenes, I think, with the administration in terms of what they could release and what they couldn't release. And if I see you in person, you want a photo with me if you see me in person? Well, which state do you live in? It's probably unlikely. Have you ever smoked pipe tobacco? I don't think so. Trump is a businessman and obviously not dumb. You weren't sure at first, but there almost has to be a deeper meaning the way he's acting. Yeah, I know. Maybe it's something humiliating or something. I don't know. Apparently, Kanye said he knew of some individuals who went to the island, but you think he was just trolling. Yeah, he says a lot of stuff, Kanye. I mean, he's a big celebrity, so maybe, but you ever seen Sam Sulek? No, I'm not in the same area as Sam Sulek. I think he lives in a different part. But plus, I don't think yeah. If you don't, because like, if you don't live in the same city as someone, the chances you're going to see them are very low. Forty to 44 to 47, not likely island people. What does that encompass? Obama, Trump, Biden, Trump. Yeah. It's earlier than that, you would think. Matt Walsh was calling for all women to stop working. Well, that's the feminism stuff, women working, and it's done a lot of harm to the birth rate and just. But it's a problem just in terms of. I mean, here's the issue. You've got more people. It's going to be more competition. There's going to be less jobs. So the women coming into the workforce. I mean, you could say, well, they need to work because now you look at how expensive everything is, but there's also the competition aspect of it. So you have to look at it from both ways. If there's less competition, the men can make more, especially, for a married couple, it can work out better. But now there's so much competition, the wages get diluted. And also now you've got people, and now there's all the H-1Bs, there's the immigrants coming in. Trump knows there's nothing on the list about him, but he's waiting before the midterms to embarrass the Dems. Yeah, I don't think, no. It would be handled differently if there was absolutely nothing on him. I mean, it was reported, you could say it's a lie, but it was reported he was informed in May that there was something, and I don't think Musk would really lie about that. It just doesn't, but him being on the list is irrelevant. Is he implicated in any terrible crimes? Because they could say, well, it's the file shows that there's an entire write-up on Trump kicking Epstein out, and it depends what's in that. Is there a relationship between the two? Is there any deeper insight into that? On what Trump's dealings were with Epstein. I mean, that's what people would want to know. But obviously he had hung around with Epstein. He kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago in like 2004. This has got to be an AI thing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to be promoting crypto. So if at most in a joking way, but if you see me pumping crypto, it's not me. So I mean, I do think there's some merit in Bitcoin and maybe some of the other crypto, and I sort of have a soft spot for Dogecoin.
Oh, I thought he was talking about another coin. Never mind. This is an important race, important Senate race. Mike Rogers +4, Democratic poll. That's good. Those are good numbers. A census that counts only citizens could shift the country sharply right. Stripping up to 30 congressional street. Yeah, I don't think this is not true. There's no way this is true. It's just not. I've looked this up, and I think it would shift it a few, but I don't. There's no way it shifts at 30 points. It's just not realistic. I know people talk about this because all of the illegals. The problem is there's a lot of illegals. Well, I guess it depends which districts, but if you're talking about the congressional seats, because congressional street seats, it's the same thing as electoral votes. There's going to be Republican states that have them, but on congressional seats, I think there's a lot of liberal districts that have a lot of illegals. The Genius Act is going to kill Bitcoin. No. The Genius Act, I think, is a stablecoin act. It's backing stablecoins. It's making stablecoins safer. Or maybe that's a different one. Who will win the Virginia gubernatorial? The Liberal. You think there will be a blue wave? I mean, it's too early to say. That's definitely historically how the trend would go, but it's just too early to say. I mean, there could be a number of things that happen before that swing things one way or another. I mean, I think they're going to keep the Senate minimum, so would be a big pain in the ass if the Liberals did take the House, but we'll see. Stablecoin kills Bitcoin. No, stablecoin is just a digital dollar. Those are two different things. You don't invest in a stable coin to make money. You invest in a Bitcoin to make money. It's an asset. Well, you don't use Bitcoin to really buy things. Bitcoin is seen as a. Do you pay for, your McDonald's food with a gold bar? It's the same thing. It's an investment. Republicans are going to redistrict. I know that liberals are getting so angry they're redistricting. Have you seen that redistricting stuff? Liberals have all these independent commissions that they set up, and it's biting them in the ass now because they're not able to. I mean, they've already gerrymandered. Listen, both parties gerrymander. You can say, well, Republicans do it better, but both parties gerrymander. So liberals are now trying to. They're trying to gerrymander back some of the states that have already been gerrymandered, and because Republicans are possibly going to add about 13 or 14. I don't know if they'll get to that many, but maybe 8 or 9 extra districts. You got a lot of reactions to this. Yeah, that wasn't even anything. And people are like, they think I'm butthurt over Trump. No, I watched it live. That was not funny. It just wasn't. I don't know. What do you want me to say? But people are like, oh, you can't handle a joke. That wasn't even funny. I don't even know what it was. He got into bed with Satan. Okay. I don't know. But then people get crazy, they get angry about it that I didn't find it funny. Democrat laws they put in place are screwing them. I know. I mean, they could do it even with the independent commissions, but they'd have to invest so much money from what I've heard. Zoomers always confuse me in regards to China. They have healthy skepticism of the U.S. government, but swallow the whole propaganda. No, Zoomers? No, I don't think Zoomers like China, man. I mean, maybe some liberal socialists like China, but even the concept of China and their government and how it's developed, it's not communist. So, I mean, to me, it's just like, maybe, I think it's a very narrow amount of people that have a good opinion of China. But also, China's it's an entirely different animal. Look at their situation with their demographics and immigration. I don't think liberals would like that too much and how they view that. But you get some socialists that maybe like China, but other than that. Take it from someone who lives in China, their tech is nowhere near as advanced as they claim. And their GDP is probably 20% inflated. Yeah, it's impossible. That's the other thing. I'm sure you know this if you've lived there. It's impossible to get accurate economic, monetary, any type of monetary numbers out of China just because of the way in which they lie about everything. And so they can just lie about it, and we don't actually know their numbers. That's why people say China's on the verge of collapsing. You'll get those stories that come out constantly, and it never ends up happening, but you can kind of say it. I don't know what's trending. I mean, the problem with the trending is it's Trump indicates possible Maxwell pardon. Trump urges Europe on immigration policies. Bunch of Maxwell stuff. Happy Gilmore too. Solana is trending. Did Solana go up? Scotland is trending. Most transparent administration ever. Dude, come on. You got to be trolling. Most of them fat and ugly. Bitcoin will never be the currency of the U.S. It can't be because it's too volatile. You heard that there might be some stuff with Trump cheating on Melania in the files. That's his guilt. Well, that does seem like something where Trump would act weird to try and not get that released. I mean, there's also the maybe a humiliation thing, like a golden shower or something. Yeah, I think we're onto something with that, honestly. Like, I think it's something different. It's not with Epstein, but it might be something different, and that might be the reason. The Powell clip yesterday was the best. Yeah, that was an all timer. That was a great clip. Yeah, you just knew. I mean, what other president is going to do that? There's not another president that would do that. And you just to see Powell just act like that, he's like, I can't believe the president is doing this. The president of the United States. It's hilarious. Powell got so angry. Think it's something different than implications of Trump. Think about it. Would he be acting this strange if he was trying to cover up the files? I know it's almost like he's acting too strange to where, it's like too obvious. So, but I don't, again, it could be something entirely different where somebody that Trump knows is in the files and he doesn't want it out that way. There's a different situation with his family that he doesn't want to get out that's in the files. There's a lot of different things it could be. Yeah, I think Powell's going to do the rate cuts in September. Hopefully, I mean, but who knows? There's got to be a lot of there's a lot of anger. There's a lot of animosity with Powell and Trump. Powell is he's not cutting in spite, people say, but the cuts have to happen. I mean, by October at latest, they have to happen. Trump could lean into the golden shower thing. Yeah, I mean, who knows if it actually is the golden showers, but I've heard that people in the chat were saying that, so I was just like, yeah, that might make sense. Trump knows how big the Bill Clinton cheating scandal. There could be stuff with him going to parties with Epstein and cheating on Melania. I know people were saying that, well, people already know he cheats on Melania, but I mean, if you're talking about fresh information, I do think it's different. Fresh information is going to be treated differently as something that happened whenever, and only version of the files we're getting is a doctored version. I mean, yeah, and that's the problem. I mean, they've lost the trust of the people. Even the Trump supporters have no trust. So the Democrats were uninterested in the file, so Trump could have just dropped anything, and they would have shut up about it. But now Trump drops anything, Democrats will say, oh, but they strategically kept Trump out of the files, and so I mean that's what you got to deal with now, because when you flub it like this is the result. We're getting trade deals done. Why isn't he lowering? Because I mean, they said, well, they want inflation at 2.0%. It's at 2.7, but you're not going to get it perfect. You're not going to get it perfect at flat 2%. It's low enough. But they'll say, well, it's because now the inflation went back up from 2.4 to 2.7, the core inflation. I don't know. I think the true is still under 2. Although people say the true inflation is not or the trueflation is what it's called. That's a cryptocurrency. Trueflation. It's a coin. I didn't even know. I think on Base, but it might be on Ethereum. But the point is that people don't like that trueflation. They say it's not realistic. It's more of the trueflation is supposedly based off of the accurate numbers, including the energy and food, because the core doesn't include energy or food. Nobody is worried about Russia collusion. Democrats crying about something being inauthentic. Yeah, I mean, I think the Russia collusion thing was obviously a bit of a distraction. His behavior is the equivalent of randomly walking up to a cop and telling him you didn't kill anyone. If you were covering something up, you wouldn't draw this much attention. Yeah, no, I hear you. That it's something weird. I agree. It's normal for inflation to fluctuate a little. Powell knows that he just doesn't want to because he's a liberal. And he literally cut for Kamala to win. Yeah, 0.50 basis point cut. I mean, it's a double cut they did in September. So, yeah, that was with a higher, well, the inflation was around the same rate. But the thing is now, we're not printing as much money. So you'd figure the cut would come, but why is it so hard to grow a new channel on YouTube nowadays? Because dude, it's an entire thing. If you want to be a YouTuber and you're a new person, you got to put in many. It's not like a regular job. You don't go to a job and day one you're getting paid. It's going to be many days, many hours before you get paid. But it can potentially work out. So it's a different thing entirely. But you have to be ready to the amount of hours is just. It's a lot of hours of unpaid just because that's the way it is. Since Clyde became a socialist, is he leaning more towards... Yeah, I think Clyde is he's more of a modern liberal socialist. Maybe more so on the maybe more so like to the left of Bernie Sanders. Chad is retarded, thinking anything is on the list. Well, dude, Trump said there's something that exists. I don't know exactly what it is. I can't tell you. There's something that exists. The administration admitted there was something that existed. You're a national socialist. We got a socialist. We got a socialist. Yeah, I think you're a national socialist, though. That's quite a clarification. Where are all the Dem presidents on Mount Rushmore? Yeah, they tried adding JFK to Mount Rushmore, but it doesn't make sense. 2 years as president, it's not going to happen. I was looking at the history. They tried adding Reagan, JFK. You'd think they would go for FDR or someone like that. They say it's unstable to add a fifth head. You could have it on like the front face of the monument. They say it's unstable. You can't do it. It wouldn't support it. Don't understand the optics of Trump Fed visit. The media says that Powell owned him, but then you say that Trump owned him. Don't understand. Well, welcome to partisan politics. No, basically, Trump, this is what happened. Trump is trying to pressure Powell out. So they're trying to find clause with this renovation that's supposedly over budget. And so Trump brought like this, he tried to hit him with, oh, the renovation went up again from 2.7 because I think it's already $2 billion over budget, honestly. But then Trump's like, it went up again from 2.7 to 3.1 billion. And then Powell's like, no, it didn't. And then Trump brings out this piece of paper. and the extra cost is from a building that I guess the Fed constructed 5 years ago. It was just so funny. And then liberals like, oh, he got fact checked by Powell. Shut up. Trump's like, it's part of the overall bill. It's part of the overall. I mean, yeah, it's 5 years ago, but dude, how much money does the Fed need to to put up these buildings? $3 billion. I know NFL teams that can build stadiums at less than $3 billion, man. It's insane. If you think if it costs $3 billion to build an office, come on. I don't think Mount Rushmore is happening for Trump. And I don't think it's stable. I don't think the monument is stable, they said, to handle it. They can't handle it. They tried to put Reagan up there. It didn't work. Dems have no sense of humor. Well, they're just, they're very boring. But I mean, they have to do that. With everything, it's like, well, Trump is evil and he's mean and he's unprofessional and, so they have to do that. And then you get that 4 years of Biden's presidency and it's just like, ugh, I don't even, it's terrible what the Democrats did to Biden. Really, it is. I mean, there's no way he could have been running anything. It's ridiculous. Mm-hmm. Trump was just trying to publicly embarrass Powell. I know that's what I said. Do you think it's right the government can't control the Federal Reserve? Well, I mean, to a degree, it's understandable because you're talking about policy that affects potentially 10, 20 years down the line. And so the administration that's in office is going to focus on the next 3 years or the next 2 years or however long they're in. So that's the argument for it. I mean, I don't even think there is anything from Piers Morgan. Football, really? Football. Kevin Spacey interview? Oh, this is from last year.
How serious a scandal is it? And how damaging could it be to Donald Trump that it appears to be causing significant unrest amongst his most loyal MAGA supporters?
Yes. I don't think Trump realized that trying to suppress names would energize the MAGA base in opposition to him, and that would feed the ongoing left-wing criticism. But when you look at all the evidence, you get the impression that Jeffrey Epstein wasn't really a financial advisor. He was a blackmailer. And he invited very powerful people and got them in compromising and often illegal situations as a way of managing their money or getting money from them. He had no visible skills, and yet he died with a fortune of nearly $500 million. So I think what happened, Piers, very quickly is Trump thought that this was going to be an open and shut case. There were going to be, he was going to be transparent. And then all these, there was no list that we know of, but there were names. I think there was 170 and 90 of them have come transparent. We had Bruce Willis, Leonard DiCaprio, Alan Dershowitz, the former George Mitchell, the former Democratic Majority Leader. But it doesn't mean that they did anything wrong. They come across in these indictments, these interrogatories of all these two criminal proceedings that they either wanted money from Jeffrey Epstein, or he solicited them for influence, or they talked to him, or they texted him, or they visited him. But we don't know.
Why does everyone hate Piers Morgan? Because she's like, what is he, like a classical liberal, I guess? I don't know his exact political stuff, but you know, when you're an influencer or a host like this in the political realm, the people are not going to like you. I mean, that's just the reality of it. Especially with what he does, to where he goes after both sides, people are not going to like you. Dude, look at this coin. Really? Dude, what is this, man? There's too much of this going on now in crypto. There really is too much of this. You're watching it live, but rewinded to the start since you missed it. P.S. Nothing will probably happen, but you never know with Trump. God bless. Mike, I appreciate it. Thank you for that. Thought Piers Morgan was a moderate. That's kind of what a classical liberal is nowadays, in a sense. Yeah, he's like a moderate. So you're gonna get hate from both sides, basically. I mean, that's. What's your thoughts on 3 of the people who accused Kevin Spacey dying? Well, that's obviously extremely suspicious. Is that another altcoin? Yeah, I remember that. I don't know if this is probably it. Look at this coin. So this coin comes out, goes to 80K, drops to 2,000, and then it's a cabal that pushes it up, I guess. I don't even know.
My family lineage is settlers from the 1500s. So
you don't look very Native American to me.
I am Native American. Whites are Native Americans. What are you talking about?
You're not.
What are you talking about?
You're a little bit more.
Yeah, whites are Native American to the United States. That's true.
More than a far-right Republican.
Hey, what can I say?
I think you could say I'm a fascist.
Yeah, I am.
Listen to me. I am an immigrant. I'm speaking from personal experience.
Get the hell out.
I don't even like. I should get the hell out.
Yes.
What?
It was pretty shocking, a lot of that stuff. I mean, how much of it was of that nature?
Unfortunately, the vast majority of it, it's about hour 40 edited on YouTube. If people want to watch, I believe several million people have watched. The Jubilee format is very viral and buzzy and clickbaity and gets a lot of views. Unfortunately, a lot of it was that. I mean, Piers, you know me. I like a good debate. I like a good argument. It's why I agreed to do it. The idea of 20-1, I like those odds. But even going into that room and seeing those people as Trump supporters, as self-declared far-right conservatives, that should have been a sign to me. Which people proudly self-identify as far-right? That should have been a giveaway. But even I did not expect, and you know me, I've used the word fascist to describe Trump and his supporters, but even I did not expect this level of open authoritarianism, fascism, white supremacy, conspiracy theory, racism to my face as an American citizen, telling me that I'm not a real American, that America is only for white people, that I should get the hell out. That was deeply disturbing and shocking.
Yeah, did you see this? If you watched this thing, this is like a very viral thing. These formats on Jubilee, where they'll get, you know, they'll get like one viral person to debate 20 people, or one political influencer to debate 20 people. And the way this was formatted, you know, this is the thing. With where Trump is right now politically, all of these people on this show, they're further right than Trump, and then the format is to defend Trump. So if you watched it, it really didn't work in that sense. Because they're defending Trump, but they really don't agree with Trump on a lot of stuff. And I just didn't think it really worked. The format didn't really work. So, I mean, I don't know. Well, the reason that because the thing is white people founded the United States of America. So that's why the whites would be united, would be natives to the United States of America. It wasn't like we came over and took over the government that the Native Americans had. We came over and created a entirely different entity. So that's why it would be whites being Native Americans to the U.S., the country. You got 2 matches on Tinder. I'm sure they're bots, bro. You're flexing bots. Jordan Peterson debates 20 trans people. Did he, sir? I thought he debated 20 atheists. Why are these people always British? Yeah, that dude was born in Britain. What is he talking about? Why would he have any business here? You know, Mehdi Hassani was born in Britain. Not bots, dude. Cope. Cope. You think the Browns and Jets will ever get their franchises out of rock bottom? It doesn't look too good for either franchise, man. I mean, their franchises are still somehow terrible. Neither of them have quarterbacks. This is what's going to happen. I'll be honest with you. I think this is pretty much guaranteed. The Saints are going to be they're going to be embarrassingly bad on purpose. The Saints, they're going to pretty much guarantee themselves the #1 pick because they want Arch Manning. You know, Arch Manning is from the South, Louisiana, New Orleans. I think they're going to get the #1 pick. The Browns will get the #2 pick. The Browns will draft Drew Aller. Or Aller. They'll draft Drew Aller from Penn State. That's what I think is going to happen, honestly, if I had to predict. I don't know where the Jets are. The Jets are probably somewhere in there, maybe the top 5. So the girl on Tinder who said help her save the ginger population. Well, I mean that's good for her. Arch Manning isn't entering the 2020. He will enter. If he's the #1 pick, you got to enter. You know, especially if you can go to New Orleans, that's probably the spot they want him to go to. Your 1-year-old son is a fan and wants you to stream Minecraft. Yeah, sure. 1 year old, he'd be crying. He'd be crying like a baby. I'd steal all of the diamonds from his world. Drew Aller is from Medina. Yeah, that's why it makes sense for the Browns. Why is a foreign-born Indian Muslim from the UK lecturing? Dude, imagine if somebody said that. You're foreign-born Indian Muslim from the UK lecturing Americans and denying themselves ownership of their country. Bro, you should have been on that debate. Like, if you word it just like that, what is his reaction to that? I mean, it's like, bro, what are you talking about? Your 3-year-old wants to know my crypto takes. Crypto is going to be great. It's going to be huge, I think, the next 5 or 6 months. NASDAQ 420, SPX 2.0, DXY 6900. I mean, these are blue chippers. You guys know the DXY, right? I'm talking about the real DXY. When is crypto gonna pump? In due time. It's actually already started to move. If you look at it, it's a lot of the altcoins have started to move. A lot of the altcoins are moving up. Like if you expand it, this is like a 6x. All these coins are starting to move. They all have the, well, this SPX2 has been down. They all have the same chart. The retirement token. Yeah, this is an interesting Solana one. Go to Ireland, find a Pakistani girlfriend. Yeah, you know what? That's not even a joke, actually. I think you're being honest. I think you're being like real. You said it before and we'll say it again. Just tell us who is in the videos with Epstein, the names of the people whom abused children. Yeah, so I think the problem with that is what JD Vance told Tim Dillon was that there's no third parties in the videos. Now, I don't know how true that is, but people gooning to Piers Morgan, yeah, it's grown ass men doing that too. You really got to think. You got to think some things. I mean, there's people that let's just say like Piers Morgan in a little bit, and I'm not talking about his political takes. I'm not talking about his political takes. They like Piers Morgan. How long do cats sleep? Felines tend to enjoy slumber. Brigitte Macron is a man. Yeah, apparently there's a lawsuit. We're gonna have to see. I mean, there's gonna have to be investigated, I guess, to see. I don't know. Needs to be investigated. Messy. My fetus wants to know what meme to ape into. Your fetus does, well, I would say useless coin. Yeah, it seems buying at the top is a good strategy. Solana or XRP for the pump. It's probably Solana. Solana will probably do better. I don't even know what Solana's at right now. Is Solana at like 300 or 400 or something? I don't even know. I mean, you could argue XRP, but yeah, Juan, I saw that. I saw the individual that missed the exit. That's insane. I don't even know how that happens. The immigrant that missed the exit that was on the DACA program, then they basically indirectly self-deported. People would love a return to vlog videos. I know, but the thing is this is the problem. You know, I'll do a video talking about it. I'll do a different video talking about it. I'll do a video thinking about what I want to do with the channel, but it's a problem. Like, you know, I can't really vlog it by myself. It would just be awkward. I mean, there are certain things I could do in life that would be interesting for sure. But the other thing is, I don't think I really have the viewer. I mean, I'd have to build it again. You know, I don't know if I want to do that. But the political stuff, it's like, dude, I could just keep doing the political stuff, but it's just one of those things to where I don't know if I mean, I guess I want to. You know, I'm fine with this job. I make good money. And it's not even just the political stuff. I mean, I've got college football in the holster. I've got the stadium videos I can go back to. I've got the 9/11 videos. That's about it though. But I mean, there's other stuff that I have. It's not just the political stuff, but. What's going to happen when Las Vegas collapses? Yeah, I've heard Las Vegas is losing a lot of tourism. I have heard that. A lot of the casinos are empty now. You know, people do the online gambling anyways as well, so it's just less luxurious, and a lot of those casinos, you know, it's changing. It's similar to malls. We were talking about that. You got 3 bots now. Look, yeah, dude, you got to. I mean, dude, this is the thing. When you get on Tinder, they give you a boost, bro. I swear, this is like me. This is like me on Interstellar explaining to my 18-year-old self, like, banging, don't do it. And it's like the 18-year-old me. I've got like 7 matches. They're all bots, or they're, let's say they tip the scales, if you know what I'm saying. You got 10 matches. It's like all 10 of these can't be ugly. Is that possible? Oh, it's possible. It's very possible. Move to Atlantic City like Trump did. Like Trump's Atlantic City. Do a morning stream to make me get... I would have to get up early, dude. I'd have to get up early today. I used to get up at 6 a.m. It is crazy how you develop a work ethic and then you lose it. And I used to get up at 5:45 a.m. every day for 2 years. I don't know the last time I got up at 5:45. It's been 3 years. It's been 3.5 years maybe. There's something nice about the morning. I got to start waking up earlier, but I keep saying that and then I never do. But I've been going to bed earlier. I woke up at like 7:30 this morning, but then I stay in bed. That's the problem. I woke up at 7:30, which is a good time. It's a good time to wake up. Casinos are going to be even more empty after this stuff. Yeah, the big beautiful bill screwed casinos for sure. And online betting as well. I mean, that's a crippling thing for that industry. You know, it's going to take away a lot of those professional gamblers. They get hit with that tax. I mean, it's a terrible tax. It's very similar to the crypto shit. That I think they should get rid of. But I don't even think you have to report some of these trades. The problem with crypto is, you know, I thought they taxed you when you exchanged it to fiat, which you put it in your bank account. That's when they should tax you. But technically, they can tax you on pretty much any trade, which to me is pretty insane when you factor in how you rotate between coins. Haven't been able to get up until like 12 recently. Can't fall asleep till like 2 a.m. Yeah, there's no way I could sleep till noon. I could never sleep that late, even when I was going through, you know, when you're in like 17 or 18, you sleep a ton. I could never sleep till noon. It's something weird. Like I could just never do it. The latest I would sleep is like 10 o'clock, honestly. But I could never sleep. I would never want to sleep till 10 o'clock nowadays. That's just way too late for me. You bought a business this summer? Well, that's interesting. You just bought a business? Las Vegas has been overrun with LA transplants who moved there after COVID. Yeah. Well, Vegas is a really weird place. It's just surrounded by a total desert. It's just I would never want to live near Vegas. It's just not I need vegetation. I need a certain amount of greenery, honestly, is to be fair. You better thank a union member, yeah. And then the unions didn't endorse her like a week later. For the first time, they didn't endorse a Democratic candidate in like 3 decades. Yeah, sleeping till noon is tough. I mean, if you're younger, I could understand it. Or it depends what your schedule is. I guess some people have different you know, they work at different times. You know, the worst time to work is like starting at 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock, because then You work from like 2 to 10, 2 to 11. I had a job when I was younger like that. Terrible. Just horrible. The main job that I had, I didn't really have much of a, I mean, I guess it was kind of like a 9 to 5, but I was working like a landscaping thing. But it was in like a greenhouse growing. They grew a bunch of plants, and I guess it was basically 9 to 5, but you can kind of clock in, clock out whenever, because it was like very an independent job. Remember the Cybertruck explosion at Trump Tower? Yeah, I know. Those things just get forgotten about. That was some ex-soldier or something who said the U.S. had committed war crimes in like somewhere in the Middle East or some shit. The iconic greenhouse. Yeah, I don't mind greenhouses, honestly. They get real muggy for sure. There is something good about being outdoors, I will say that you know, you miss when you don't do the blue collar stuff. And you wish you could be a YouTuber, but it's too saturated nowadays. Your only chance is praying for a viral video, which less than half of the people will subscribe, and way less than half the people subscribe to you because of viral video. But no, it's really not even about viral videos. I mean, yeah, it would help for sure. But with YouTube, you can't even think about viewership or anything. If you're thinking about viewership going into it, you'll probably fail, because you're not going to get good viewership your first, months on. You have to embrace it. It's the reality. If you want to do YouTube, the best thing to do YouTube is to do it while you're still in high school, and just put all your energy to it and just try and get through high school, because then at least you have like this buffer. That's the best time to do it. But it's a very long process for 99% of people to become successful. My degen ads are still screwed up in stream. Yeah, you know what? Maybe it is. Maybe it is something. Maybe it's one of my settings that I messed up. I don't know. I don't see how that would work, but people have said it. I don't think my videos are screwed up though. Facts, what's up, man? We need to have more babies. Yeah, I mean, I think the first step is pausing all the immigration, because just think about how many illegals are still in the country. Did you see the TAPP controversy? Yeah, I saw it. I talked about it a decent amount already. It's hilarious. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this live stream. I'm going to end it there. I don't know. We'll see if there's another post. Trump getting visited by Trump going to Scotland. I guess they're saying he's lying about the fans. I don't know. They always say that. It's like, oh, the fans weren't there. It's like, what do they make up where these fucking people are at? It's like, I don't even know what they're saying. They over embellished how many fans showed up when he landed in Scotland. All right, guys, I'll see you.